Episode 11 starts from the underpass, where Taec-yeon throws herself into Vincenzo's arms upon finding him injured but not dead. Vincenzo drops his shocking discovery to her. The real boss of Babel is Chairman John's brother, Jo Han-chul. Overhearing this, Jeon Jung-woo nervously swallows. Maybe he needs to get ready to run. And here's when I realize, wait, we know that Jo Han-chul is hiding under the alias Jeon Jung-woo, but Vincenzo and Taec-yeon, they do not know that. So they must think that it's someone else. Jeon Jung-woo is not found out after all. I was so happy for no reason. Vincenzo calls Jo Han-chul's number using the assassin's phone. Jeon Jung-woo quickly covers his coat pocket where his secret phone is vibrating like crazy. Vincenzo looks over at him, about to get suspicious that Jeon Jung-woo's phone seems to be vibrating, but he is not answering. Jeon Jung-woo quickly takes out another phone that he normally uses and shows Vincenzo that it's not his phone that's ringing and happily walks away. Vincenzo calls again but continues to get no response, so he finally directs his attention to calling his shadow duo to clean up the crime scene. I can't believe Vincenzo still hasn't realized Jeon Jung-woo's true identity, but I choose to believe that it's got nothing to do with his intelligence. It's just the writers who want to keep the cat in the bag a little longer. Vincenzo and Taec-yeon proceed to interrogate the assassins that they have captured. I thought they were dead. They lock them in an exhaust smoke-filled car, only allowing them breathable air if they answer the questions properly. They got them to admit to setting the villa on fire that killed all the researchers, killing director Gil, and faking the mass suicide of the victims' families. Vincenzo asks them for the location of Jo Han-chul, but they don't know that information. All they know is that Jo Han-chul has now returned to Korea. Taec-yeon threatens to kill them as they are useless. Vincenzo isn't comfortable with what Taec-yeon has become under his influence, so he decides to call it a night and take her home. On their way home, Vincenzo calls Mr. Cho to look into the geolocation of Jo Han-chul's secret phone. He notices that Taec-yeon is in a really bad mood and asks her what's wrong. She lets him know that she's bothered by the shadow duo that he has under his employment, since they used to work for Miss Choi and also had a hand in killing her father. He tells her simply, once they have paid their debt in service, she'll be the one to take her revenge however she sees fit. Taec-yeon then expresses curiosity in Vincenzo's undefeatable fighting skills. He tells her that his teacher is a part of the Italian Special Forces and how he needed to hone his skills to perfection in order to gain respect in a place where he is clearly a minority. After an intense evening, Taec-yeon and Vincenzo enjoy food and drink together. After getting tipsy, they talk about that overly intimate hug in the underpass, and Vincenzo asks her not to worry or feel bad about it. Taec-yeon explains that her heart sped up when they hugged, but she cannot tell if it's because of adrenaline in thinking that he was dead or if she actually had feelings for him. She wants to confirm it again, so she bossily asks him to stand up so they can hug for 10 seconds. Even though Taec-yeon is a smart lawyer, she doesn't seem overly smart in this department, since she can't tell what she's feeling and gives up by saying that it's most definitely probably likely because she was worried that he was in danger. Dare I say that Vincenzo looks slightly disappointed? Vincenzo visits Miss Oh in the hospital, but this time on his own. He casually asks about her past, and she confirms his theory that when she was diagnosed with cancer the first time around, she was afraid to leave her son an orphan, so she gave him up so that he could find a nice family to love him. She explains how her days are now numbered, and she prays that her son grew up in a happy place. Vincenzo states that a son without his mother cannot truly have a happy childhood, but he's sure that her son is doing well now, so she should just focus on getting better. This causes Miss Oh to break down, and honestly, I broke down with her. It was so emotional. Back at the office, Vincenzo and Taec-yeon go through the phone records of Jo Han-chul's phone and learn that he was actually near the underpass at the same time they were there, probably monitoring the progress of his assassins. At this time, Agent An, the fake apprentice at the Italian restaurant, comes to deliver food. He eavesdrops on a conversation, not so stealthily, and his eyes light up when he hears Mr. Na say that they cannot progress much more in their investigation if they don't have police resources. Vincenzo believes that they need to find someone who knows Jo Han-chul's face, not just his name. However, things turn sour quickly for Vincenzo as Miss Choi plots against him once again. The International Crimes Division of Nandong-bu Prosecutor's Office visits Vincenzo and places him under arrest for attempted murder, aiding and abetting, and blackmail. Clearly, Jeon Jung-woo has shared the evidence that he has gathered from Italy about Vincenzo being a mafia. Speaking of Jeon Jung-woo, while eating lunch together, Chairman Jeon tells his brother that he wants to lead Babel Pharmaceuticals, which causes Jeon Jung-woo to get pissed and hold a steak knife against his throat. Chairman John realizes once again that he may never escape from his brother's abusive control unless he takes matters into his own hands. Anyways, back to Vincenzo. While he is held for questioning, Agent Un runs back to his real workplace to persuade his boss to intervene. His boss doesn't want to get involved, but Agent Un passionately convinces him to exert his authority over the stupid prosecutor's office. There's just the International Crimes Division. Are you not the head of the International Security Intelligence Service? This is a matter of national security, you know. They're stepping all over you, boss. His boss finally gives in, probably to stop Agent Un from talking, and authorizes him to go and steal Vincenzo back. Now it's Agent Un's moment to shine. He descends upon the police station, announces himself as the team lead at the International Security Intelligence Service Italy Division, and presents a paper allowing him to take Vincenzo under his custody for questioning. Clearly this means something, since the investigators reluctantly hand Vincenzo over. But they're confused as to why an officer from the intelligence agency wants to help him, a mafia. But Agent Un's explanation doesn't clarify much. He believes that the reason Vincenzo is holding down the fort at Gunga Plaza is because he's redeeming for his past crimes, and that's also why he has put up a fight against Babel. For these truly noble reasons, Agent Un is ready to help with whatever Vincenzo needs, but he has 3 conditions. 1. He wants to be involved in all future actions. 2. They have to help him keep his true identity hidden. And 3. He wants a big old hug from Vincenzo. I guess when you are in a position to negotiate, you should definitely ask for the moon. Vincenzo tries to negotiate him down to a handshake, but no deal. Agent Un promptly ignores his offer and glumps Vincenzo, causing Vincenzo to lose his balance and grasps Agent Un's butt for support. Well, I guess that seals the partnership then, right? What a chaotic scene, and I love it. Back at Gunga Plaza, the tenants threw a huge party with a marching band to celebrate Vincenzo's safe return. Not only are they not scared of his mafia status, they implore him to guide them in their fight against the big bad wolves. Vincenzo is speechless at how misguided these folks are. Isn't he the big bad wolf? What do Korean people think the mafia is? Vincenzo has a theory that the man who was asking around about him in Italy may know Jang Han-suk's face. He calls his friend Luca, who sends him the CCTV footage. Vincenzo puts Agent Un to work right away and asks him to find out who this person is. He promises to deliver in 5 hours. He's gotta pay back for the hug and the ass stroking after all. Here, the monks interrupts Vincenzo's meeting to ask for help. Since someone filed an anonymous complaint against the temple, it's likely that they will have to close while they're being investigated. Vincenzo has his suspicions about who's behind this, and his expression turns serious. Betrayal is the worst kind of hurt. In another scene, Chairman John is getting some training from CEO Han on target shooting. He's absolutely terrible at it, and I have a really bad feeling about all this. It seems they're going ahead with their secret alliance to overthrow Jang Jung-woo, so let's wait and see how this ends. Vincenzo calls for a meeting with Mr. Cho and reprimands him for going behind his back to cause trouble for the monks. He pressures him to withdraw his complaint and gives him a gentleish warning about acting without his permission. This conversation is overheard by the pretty piano teacher. Remember her? She's also on the lookout for the gold. Just as he thought one problem is put to rest, Vincenzo gets kidnapped by the select group of Gunga Plaza residents. They share with him the news that, gasp, there is gold hidden in the building. If Vincenzo is willing to help them find the gold, they will each give a small percentage of their gold to Vincenzo. Vincenzo acts all surprised and then finds a reason to leave, because I guess he has to fight the urge to punch them all in the face right then and there. And I totally get it. These people are trying to get his help to find and keep his gold and are only paying him a small percentage for it. How do you spell the word ridiculous? At least some good news came from Agent Un, who found out the identity and location of the person who was asking around about Vincenzo. Cheol gets a call from Jang Jung-woo, who wants to talk to her about some information. Boy cry wolf much? So they decide to split up and chase down the leads separately. Jang Jung-woo gives Cheol an envelope which contains a document saying that because of lack of evidence and witness, Babel Chemicals and Babel Pharmaceuticals will not be paying the victims' families any damages. Cheol is pissed, but she doesn't look surprised. On the other side, Vincenzo's shadow service captures the guy easily, and Vincenzo threatens him to give up the information on Jo Han-suk. The guy is in the business of being secretive and is not afraid of threats or even torture. He tells Vincenzo that if I tell you who and where he is, I will be killed within a week. Well, Vincenzo says, I'll do you one better. What if I kill you right now? Well, I don't think he said that, but instead, Vincenzo takes out a revolver and asks the guy if he knows how to play Russian roulette. For those of you who don't know, this is where you put one bullet in the revolver, spin the cylinder, and then take turns firing the gun at yourself and your opponent's head until one of you suddenly drops dead. It really plays with your head and you become more and more scared with each passing trigger. So the guy eventually breaks down and tells Vincenzo that the mastermind is walking around under the name Jeon Jung-woo. He's currently a new partner at Ulsan Law. Vincenzo quickly calls Taec-yeon and tells her right away not to speak and just to listen. When Taec-yeon hears that Jeon Jung-woo is Chairman Jeon's brother, she can't help but be surprised. But what's impressive is her ability to stay calm and pretend everything is normal. And she asks casually, will you still stick with the plan? We don't hear Vincenzo's response on the call, but we get the answer quickly in the next scene. When Jeon Jung-woo returns home, Vincenzo is already there waiting for him. He points a gun at the real boss of Babel and asks him to kneel. Vincenzo calls him by his real name, Jo Han-suk, who just laughs and says, damn, you got me. Vincenzo tells him to say his last prayer while cocking the gun. And here's where we see just how crazy Jo Han-suk or Jeon Jung-woo is. He grabs the gun in Vincenzo's hand, pulls it closer to his own head, and says excitedly, kill me already, you mafia bastard. The scene ends with us staring into Vincenzo's bloodshot eyes as he prepares to blow Jeon Jung-woo's brains out. Given how little regards Jeon Jung-woo has for other people's lives, it's good to see that he cares about his own life just as much. I really hate those villains that don't blink an eye when they harm others and then cry and pee their pants at the first sight of danger to their own lives. At least we know that Jeon Jung-woo is crazy through and through. I don't think Vincenzo will kill him though. What do you guys think? We're a little past the midway mark in the show and it just doesn't feel like the right time yet for the main villain to die. But what would stop him from killing him? We're locked and loaded after all. You can't wait to find out? Well, I can't wait either. But please wait a little bit as I get the next episode ready for you. So remember to subscribe and I will see you there. Bye!